Let's be honest, there's no guidebook when it comes to relationships. So we end up having to stumble through life trying to figure things out for ourselves. What if there was a podcast that found the answers for you, that provided insight to build a successful relationship and ultimately find the companionship you've always hoped for? Welcome to the Girls Ask Guys show, where we answer the questions most people are afraid to ask when it comes to lessons in life and love. It's time to master this thing called life together with your hosts, John and Ashley.
And welcome back to the Girls Ask Guys show, where we are your guide for dating, love, life, relationships, and everything else in between. Now, last week we told you that we had some pretty good episodes coming towards you, so here it is. You guys want to know how to turn a casual, platonic conversation into a more flirtatious and sexual one? Boom. Here you go. This is your episode right here.
Yeah, we got it just for you. It's not too difficult. We don't really recommend combining strategies, but like literally this conversation that we're about to have with you might just change the way you talk to people.
Exactly. Now, we talked about why so many pickup artists dating guru relationship courses don't work. We also shared a test between a guru and their so-called guarantee and what we show. Now, I've been asked how to turn a regular conversation into a more flirtatious or sexualized conversation. I'm about to share that with you in this episode, but I want you to know that this is only one of the ways you can do this. There are about 3 or 4 different ways that we teach you on how to do this. So this particular strategy, it just happens to hold the least amount of risk for you.
Like we said, we don't really recommend combining strategies unless you want people who are like clinging onto you and just very uncomfortable, like John described in his previous encounter. And that's just common sense. It's like having Neapolitan ice cream. Do you want all the vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry, or are you just trying to focus on one kind of thing right now?
Right. Okay. So before we get too far off topic, let's get into this strategy because I could go about 18,000 different directions. The first thing you need to know is that there's a science that goes behind this. Now, part of this is a non-applied science. The other part is applied. We referenced this in the last episodes where I was talking about non-applied and applied. You need to understand this because people are getting confused when they listen to our past episodes and we bring up that we're using scientific facts. Now, we pull from a lot of different fields. Non-applied science studies why, and it validates whether the theory is true or not. The applied sciences take the findings from those and they see if there's any particular use to them on how to get consistent results. Okay, so here's an example. Behavior analysis and the study of color is a non-applied science. However, consumer behavior and media psychology are applied sciences. They use behavior analysis color findings to come up with different things. Why do you think every store sale sign is red and yellow? There's a reason.
Yeah, now that you kind of get what we're saying and what we mean, I hope now you can understand what we're saying when we say we look at science. It's not as difficult. The applied sciences are what we pull from, and it's known as persuasional communication, which is used in advertising, television, and movies. So basically all the things that kind of get you to the sale, get you to want to watch Max Payne, and get you to want to watch Orange is the New Black 6 hours at one sitting. They're patterns that we have as people. We have patterns. And so because of that, we're able to study human behavior, and we can kind of break it down into the way people behave and almost know the outcome.
Yeah, you can get a general idea. If I do A, the result is going to be B. Now, there is a thing with that where you start getting into manipulation. But in order to avoid that, you have to understand everything else that goes into it, not just one piece. Now, there is the thing that we have, and it's called pattern breaking. What it is that there's a pattern at which people speak at. I'm going to break this down for you a little bit. First, let's take a look at normal conversation, and only normal conversation. Average people speak at a conversational rate of roughly about 120 to 150 words per minute. This equals about 4 to 5 syllables per second or 2.5 words per second. And of course, this is an average and it's going to vary on region. Now, the next part of this is decibel level or the loudness level of a normal conversation. This sits at about 60 decibels, again, depending on region. In some parts of the world, can be around 70. Let's keep it simple. The pattern at what most people are used to, according to research, is about 120 words per minute at 60 decibels. Why is this important? Because we're going to break the pattern.
Okay. I like that.
So this is where the non-applied behavioral and social sciences come into play. We have a beginning of a basic application, but we need to understand why it works.
Yeah. When you break a pattern, it throws people off, right? It makes them pay attention. So you just kind of confusing them. Think of a time when you had the television on with a movie and you weren't really paying attention and something crazy happens. And you're kind of like, what the fuck? And you really start paying attention. You re-engage for a short amount of time at least. And we're going to kind of use the same model, which is what we're really trying to do. Now, some people are going to shout this is manipulation. It's not manipulation, though, because I'm not enticing anyone or evoking any emotions in another person. We're only giving back what they give us.
Yeah.
They're showing an interest in us, and someone does have to make the first move. They can reciprocate or not. If they don't want to, then we're just going to keep it friendly. The only difference between us and the rest of the world is that we have an understanding of what's happening. So we're able to really feel it out. We understand why.
Yeah. There's just different things that you can actually do. During the conversation, I'm going to just tell you, here's what you're going to do. During the conversation, you're going to slow your rate of speech at which you're speaking just a little bit. You're just going to slow it down. And then you're going to lower the volume of your voice just a little bit. Even if you do this for about a half second, the person that you're talking to is going to take notice. They're going to engage just a little bit more. And sometimes it's at a subconscious level. Just like what Ashley said. TV's on in the background. You're kind of messing around with your tablet or whatever you're doing. And then the volume changes or something happens and you look up and then you go back to what you're doing. That's all we're doing. It's not manipulation at a subconscious level either, because they're already interested in you. They're already talking to you. We're not evoking anything. Okay. It's the same thing as if you liked a shirt at a store and you see the red and yellow for sale sign above that shirt. You already liked it, but now it's on sale. Now, is it manipulation that the sign caught your attention and you went and bought the shirt? No, they already like me. Now I'm just showing a little bit more interest in them. They're going to buy. That's all it is. Proven pattern breaking. So something else that you need to know about the strategy is that you can use it with any topic at all. Now, while we've actually been speaking, I've been pattern breaking all the way through. I've been doing little hiccups where I slow my speech down and I lower my volume and I go right back to regular speech. So you have witnessed this in action.
Yeah.
I just did it again.
Look at that.
If you want more of a, okay, I missed it kind of thing, here's a speech pattern break talking about fixing pizza. So the other day I was in the kitchen and I decided to make a pizza from scratch. I made the dough and I laid it out on the pan before I chopped up the toppings. And I spread out the pizza sauce and I laid the toppings on it before baking it. You should have smelled the delicious scent it had. Okay, now you should have picked up on at least a few of those. I mean, I made some of them very obvious. Some were not as easy to point out. They're a little bit more obscure, but I can almost guarantee that you will never watch another commercial the same way again.
It's true. I probably will be listening for all my speech and pattern interruptions. But let's get back to the application. I will. I know I will. I can't help it. What you do is speak at a normal rate. Then you kind of slow it up and drop your volume. Then you go back to your normal rate and volume. This takes a little practice because you want to be fluid in everything that you're doing. And I can tell you firsthand that if you're doing it correctly, it's actually pretty normal. And you do it without even realizing it. I will say that.
Especially when you are attracted to somebody and they are reciprocating back. We almost always do it subconsciously. We're just not really aware of it. But once you become aware of it and you start implementing it, things actually start to change. Hear that? I just did it again. I dropped my volume and I broke the pattern. Now, there's something else that you actually have to remember with this. There's something else that you actually need to put in with this. And we've said it before, eye contact. You need to hold eye contact.
Yes. What's the signs of eye contact? Research shows that the average eye contact is about 3.3 seconds for a normal conversation with someone. There's a lot of factors that go into how long people keep eye contact. Number one, are they weirdos? Do they not blink? However, It's like 3 seconds is where most people are comfortable. But people who have romantic connections, they usually go about 5 seconds. And if you can recollect on when you've met somebody you've enjoyed, you cannot stop staring at them.
Yeah.
Here's the thing you got to be cautious about. Until you start with the pattern break, keep your eye contact normal. Until you know this person is actually kind of into you, don't look weird. It just feels really hostile, really intrusive. But once you start to be able to break up that pattern, then you can make it a little longer.
An easy way to tell if somebody likes you and if you're struggling to maintain eye contact, practice. While somebody's talking to you, like a close friend, count to 3 before you break eye contact. So let's start at the top. So you're going to have a normal conversation. You're going to pattern break. And then during the pattern break, you're going to look into their eyes. And even when you return back to normal conversation, you're going to hold that eye contact for about 3 seconds. And then as we keep doing the pattern break, you're going to go 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds, 4 seconds. No longer than 5 seconds. Then it just gets friggin' weird. Okay?
It just gets creepy. Yeah. Like, don't be weird.
So the other 2 things that you can do is, now this one you're going to have a choice with. You can keep a totally serious facial expression, or you can give a little flirtatious smile. It's also known as a knowing grin. While I'm talking to somebody, I can kind of slow down and kind of give them a little knowing grin, and then I can go back to...
usually your dominant side.
Yeah.
Like, I bet if you grin, are you a righty or lefty?
Right.
Yeah, so if you grin, you probably go to your right. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It works, though.
Actually, for myself, I just did it, and I do more of the left. I can do the right.
Really?
It just kind of feels weird. I don't know why. Now, this next part is going to seem like totally counter to what we just talked about. But this is going to come later in the conversation. While the flirting or the more sexual talk is being established, you have to understand that it's a natural progress. Both sides are showing interest equally. So you're not going to push this unless they are reciprocating back to you. After things have progressed for a little bit, you've been doing this whole maintaining eye contact, pattern breaking, eye contact, pattern break, doing this. What you're going to do is when they are talking, you're going to not so much look in their eyes anymore. While they are talking, you're going to look at their lips. When you talk, you look at their eyes. When they talk, you look at their lips. Again, we're going back to the science on this, because what this does is not only does it tell them that you are reading their lips and you're paying attention to everything they say, you're sending a subtext that you want to kiss them.
Yeah, that's pretty scientific.
It works.
Wild,
oh my gosh.
Actually.
Yeah, it works.
I can only imagine. I think about these things, and I've never really, I didn't really come up in the pickup world, so I never thought about the strategy part, but that's exactly what happens. And I mean, you'll see it as you get better. And once you get to the point where you're able to go into more complex parts of this, it's where you almost can get away with like anything. And this is what I was saying earlier. I think it was maybe last week's show where I was saying like most of the things I say to people are probably weird. But once you're able to sort of transition into this is kind of conversation we're having, this is the comfort level that needs to be at, then you can get a little weird. You can say some weird shit. You can say like really dirty shit to someone and they're going to respond and they're not going to feel violated. And then you can move to a totally new conversation after that, like get into a new conversation. It's just, once you get the hang of this, you can take the conversation anywhere you want. And the strategy we have is just very low risk, like literally no risk at all.
Everything that we've been covering up to this point is zero risk. The strategies that we're using are zero. I mean, how risky is it to, when somebody's talking, to look at their lips? It's not really creepy.
It's too creepy. Yeah.
Have you ever watched a show and the audio and the video were out of sync?
Mm-hmm.
It drives you nuts. Why? Because you're reading the lips. They're saying something, but the words are coming before or afterwards. It's like just a half second off, and it drives you nuts. Same thing. Yeah. But one thing that guys and girls, men and women, the thing that drives their fear of not wanting to do something like this is coming off as creepy. We're going to get into this later into the show, but define for me what creepy or clingy or slutty looks like.
I can define all of those things, but I not with words. I just know it when I see it.
Exactly. It's a feeling. I asked this woman the other day, so what does creepy look like? And she's like, Well, I mean, he's just being a pervert. Okay, that's one definition. I asked this person over here. I don't know. He touches me too much. Okay, that's another definition. Nobody can define it. They just know it when they see it.
Yeah.
And when you pressure for it, it's just a feeling I get.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how do you avoid it? Well, it goes back to being congruent. What you think in your head has to match what comes out of your mouth. Now, if I think I'm going to get rejected, if I think I'm going to be creepy, if I think I'm going to get blown out, what comes out of my mouth is the opposite of that. I come up to a girl and I go, girl, you look fucking hot. I do that, but in my head, I'm like, I'm going to get blown out. She's going to slap me. I'm going to come off as creepy. Mm-hmm. Guess what? I'm going to get rejected. Get the fuck away from me, you creep. And I'm going to get blown out because one didn't match the other.
Yeah, and I mean, you can go in for the direct approach and really escalate things, and you can be unapologetic. Like, you can't just say about anything, really, so as long as you believe you can get away with it. But let's break it down for those of you who have a fear of rejection or, approach anxiety, which isn't uncommon, so don't feel weird about that. You can put this fear behind you. Let's do, we have like 5 things to watch for.
Yeah, there are 5 things to watch for. Now, this is just to tell you whether they are interested in you or not. And the great thing about this is that even though I'm big into body language and I've talked about body language, I kind of sat down and I looked at it and I went deep into it. And I was like, okay, for the new person, that's too much to kind of keep track of. Okay, I need to remain confident. I need to keep this in my head. I need to do this. I need to do that. And while I'm in the conversation, I need to look for this, and this to see if they're interested in it. It's too much. Okay, the very first thing to look for, first and foremost, proximity. When you are talking to them, do they close the distance between you and them? Now, during the interaction, after you start using the pattern breaks and the conversation is going along well, do they touch you? Non-sexually, do they touch your hand? Do they touch your forearm? Might they pass by you, touch your shoulder? Non-sexual, okay? Now, you could miss those because you're like into the conversation, you're comfortable, right, and you could miss them. So what about if they are disinterested? This you're not going to miss.
At all.
Yeah.
This is probably super obvious.
Yeah, it's going to be super obvious. Do they move away? Or when you say something, do they kind of glance away?
That's funny.
Are they creating any kind of distance between you, looking away after you say something, after you do something? If they do that, you are heading in the wrong direction. They might not leave.
Yeah.
They might give you a second chance, but don't go that way again.
And if someone's moving away from you, let them. Just let them.
Don't step back into them. No. The other one is, do they cross their arms? Do they place something between the two of you? If I'm talking to a girl and I say something or I do something wrong, she could just be holding a beer in her hand or a coffee cup, and she moves it from the side to directly between us. It's a barrier. Again, they're creating a barrier. You're losing their interest.
Yeah, and I think the most important one is probably like, they kind of tell you to fuck off. You know, like, we don't really need to explain that to you. If someone is not into you, just to the point where they're like, you know what, you have to fucking go. Just take the L, buddy.
Take the hit. Just move along. Okay. Because if you went that far, you really fucked it up. It's time to step off. Now, there's more advanced techniques and stuff like that where you can tell if this is a test or not. Some women will test you just to make sure that you are who you are presenting yourself as. That's totally different. But we're talking, you're just having a conversation, you're going through, and yeah, you lost them.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's a lot easier to keep track of these 5 things than a huge and advanced list of body language signals, and I've left some stuff out of some prior episodes, and they're important details. So this is stuff that other gurus don't teach you. They try to teach you, oh, well, she's playing with her hair, if she's stroking the stem of her wine glass, if she's crossing her legs, or if the guy is sitting there and he's like straightening up his shirt and like checking his eyebrow.
Right.
It's too much, people.
It's too much. It's always so much. Like, chill out.
You just want to watch for those 5 things. 2 of them, they're interested. 3 of them, they're not interested. And those are universal. I don't care what country you go to. I don't care where you live. Those are scientifically proven universal. And that's applied science. Let's keep that straight. Okay, so next part is actually overcoming anxiety, fear. Now, it's not so much the approach that people are afraid of. We approach people every day without any kind of fear. We go to the receptionist. We go to a cashier. We walk up to a teller. We go seek out a sales associate. No fear whatsoever. But a stranger that we happen to be attracted to? Hell no. I'm not doing that. No. But where's the difference? The fear is the other person's reaction. The fear of the unknown.
Yeah, and I guess the question is like, how do we handle these potential negative reactions? But I think if you know how to take a negative reaction and spin it in your favor, would you actually be scared? Probably not. And if you were scared, it'd be a lot less than you were. So let's go with the hypothetical. And let's say you approach a person or group and they laugh at you. This is probably the worst outcome.
Right.
Don't walk away. Don't apologize. Don't laugh with them. Remain committed to what you said, man. You said it. Own it. Like, it's you. And that's the big thing, is not backing down just because someone is trying to make you feel less. You're still a person. You're a human being.
Right. And there is a way that you can actually handle that, because I've had this happen to me. Now, let's just stick with like the hardcore openers. Let's not do the easy stuff. Let's make this like you have to have an airtight confidence about you. We're just going to say from here on out, we're sticking with the hardcore direct sexual opener. Okay? Girl, if you knew what I would do to you tonight.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Fuck. I wouldn't know what to say.
Those are the kind of openers I'm talking about. They are direct. They are high energy. They are highly sexualized. Now, I'm not saying go out there and try this.
Don't.
Yeah, you can. I mean, there are places that you can get away with this. But
yeah, certain places, not Starbucks.
And you can do it at Starbucks too. Anyways, you have to go in and you have to own it. You cannot back down. So what happens if I do that and they turn around and like, what? What the fuck did you just say to me? Okay. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of take a step back. I'm going to look at them. I'm just, I must have read you all wrong. Okay, so you walked up, you tried this, and the entire group just laughed at you. The person that you intended it for, she's looking at you and she's really laughing. So I'm going to step back. I want to kind of give them this kind of confused look and, I must have read you all wrong. It's not a sexy laugh. I thought you would have a sexy laugh. Okay, it is kind of a nag, but I'm not totally throwing them to the ground and shaming them.
Right.
And it can sound a little bit harsh. Now, we don't want to go harsh. I hate going harsh. But in this specific case, we need to turn the tables a little bit, causing the other person to stop and think for just a half second. Now, more than likely, what they're going to do is they're going to say something like, "Excuse me?" And then from here, you can go straight into your conversation starter. You're going to end what just happened, not apologizing for it. I said it. I'm going to own it. And then I'm going to change it up and change the energy level. Okay? So all I have to do is run with it. I'm just like, have you ever dated a person that had an annoying laugh? Do you know people have like a reverse laugh? You know, the people who suck the air in instead of letting it out when they laugh? It doesn't matter. All this does is I've gone from one extreme to the other extreme, but I'm sticking to it.
Right.
So the objective here is to provide conversation points to them, because they're not giving anything to you. They're sitting there and they're laughing at your opener. And you really don't want to go weak. You don't, I'm sorry. No. Now, what this line does is that, or whatever line you develop on your own, I recommend coming up with your own stuff, is that the whole reverse laugh thing, they can sit there and go, what's a reverse laugh? There you go. You're in. It's when people, they suck the air in instead of letting it out. So it sounds like really weird. Hey, I'm John. How you doing? Introduce yourself, run with the conversation.
The second thing that can happen is that you get tested. You know, when people realize that you're interested in them in a way, they want to make sure you are who you say you are. And they want to make sure you're not an imposter, so they want to make sure that gold chain on your neck is real and that Benz is not rented. Everybody wants someone who's real, right? So of course they're gonna test you. We go back to the thing, you say something really dirty and they look at you and they're like, what did you say to me? They get a little verbally aggressive and it's like saying, what do you want? Or who do you think you're talking to? Or why are you even here? And in this situation, you don't get needy. You don't get you just kind of don't get super aggressive back either. It's not necessary. You don't have to do either of those things. Both of those responses aren't going to work out. Just because if you get too needy, it's going to...
I'm sorry. I just really wanted to talk to you.
Yeah. Ew.
Don't do that.
Right. And if you get too hyper aggressive, then it's just going to look like you're a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, you're a fucking bitch. All you want is fucking money, man.
Yeah. That's so necessary.
Yeah, it's not going to work out for you.
You're not going to get what you said. So just be unapologetic, be confident. So you take the response, you step back, you look, and you're like, my bad, dude. No one really wants to be thought of as lower than someone initially that thought they were. So you can kind of just be humble. Then you introduce yourself. All you're saying to them in a nonverbal way is that they're not as cool, modern initially as you thought. No one really wants to be thought of as someone lower than that.
So the next one that you can use is what I call the unapologetic apology. Now, this one, you're going to still do the step back, have a confused look at first, but then you're going to have this flash of realization. You're going to give something like this. You know what? You're absolutely right. I just totally lost my manners there for a second. What I meant to say is that you have beautiful eyes. Let's start this again. Hi, my name is John. This is really the only one that you're going to include any kind of apology with. Because what you're going to do is you're going to give them the words that they want to hear. But the subtext of what is being said is that you are standing your ground. You're not going to go cower in a corner. You're going to remain confident and self-assured in what was said.
Yeah, I like that. I do like that a lot.
There's another way that you can also do this, but you're really going to push the limits. And to do this, you need to come in. When I say airtight, I mean air fucking tight in your confidence level.
This is my strategy. I do this. I'm really good at this one.
Yeah, this one, I love this one.
Yeah, this is what I do.
When the situation and everything lines up and I can use this, I do this. So all I'm going to do is, let's set this up from the beginning. I walk up to this girl and I look at her and say, you look fucking hot. And she turns around and she goes, excuse me? What did you say to me? So I step back. I'm looking at her straight in the eye. I want to lean in slightly. And with total assurance, I want to slowly repeat it back to her. I said, you look fucking hot. And I want to hold my eye contact for about 3 seconds. And then I want to step back again. And I'm going to change up the whole energy level. And all I'm going to do is, I guess I misread you.
Oh, no, I stop at the you look fucking hot part.
Oh, well,
confident.
If she turns around and she goes, okay, I thought so. Now, if she does something like that, I want to stay with it. But if she just kind of scrunches her face up a little bit, I guess I misread you. And all I'm going to do is I want to do a half turn. I'm not leaving. I'm just going to do a half turn. And all it does is the pattern break. Okay? We're talking about pattern breaks. You do pattern breaks combined with confidence. What most people will do is when they see a potential negative outcome, first off, they probably won't even try. So half of you people listening to this won't even try.
Right.
Some, they're going to try. Yeah. They're going to do it, but as soon as it happens, as soon as that negative happens, they're going to back down. They're going to apologize. Yeah. They're going to try to explain themselves, or they're just going to walk away with their tails between their legs.
Yeah, we call that pussing out.
So those are the normal responses that they're used to getting. But when I do this half turn, they're expecting me to walk away, but I'm standing there.
Right.
Now, they could not do anything, but I do get quite a few that I'll feel this little tap on my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, you didn't misread me. I just didn't really know how to react. Cool.
So how are you going to react? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorites. Just because it's easy to open up the conversation.
Right. Now, like I said, we're going with the truly hardcore stuff. This way you can see how this stuff works these are things that other schools and they don't teach this. So
No.
let's start talking about this whole creepy thing, and let's put this out to pasture once for all. Okay. So as we stated, a lot of people, they can't define it. It's just this feeling that they get. When we ask them, give me a definite conclusion, a definite definition of what is creepy. What does creepy and clingy actually look like? Asking the guys for the clingy stuff, the girls for the creepy stuff. Because they're different definitions, or same thing, two different groups.
All right.
Now, this whole creepiness and clinginess thing, it all revolves around sex. Now, it's the top. Yeah. I mean, it's the top two things that bring on this feeling in a person making the approach for even liking the other person, and then they have to apologize for liking sex or even broaching the subject.
I want to sleep with you. That's so funny.
I'm sorry. I like sex.
That's how you should respond. You know what? I challenge anyone to do this.
Actually, I probably will.
Yeah,
well,
let's do it.
Curious now.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm
curious.
curious.
You can come on the show and you can tell us about your whole fucking experience. But I want you to like go up to a girl and be, or a guy, whatever your preference. I don't care. Be like, you're fucking good looking or you're fucking hot. And they say, what did you say to me? And then you say you're fucking hot. If they say that's rude, you say, well, I'm sorry for wanting to sleep with you, and just walk away. And tell me what happens, because I'm kind of curious.
Again, you're going to have to have like super hardcore confidence, and you can't back down. Okay.
I think I have that kind of confidence.
Yeah. Oh, I know I do. I've pulled off some stuff, and even the people sitting with me are like, dude, you go there?
I think I'm going to have a conversation
they don't see
with
it. So, yeah, they really don't see that side of me that often. So when I do it, they're just like, dude, you actually went there, man. And?
Right. So
let's keep going along with this. So I'm going to illustrate a very direct sexual approach. I'm going to show you a rejection that I've experienced, and then a turnaround. Okay. So if you remember in the last show where I tested the Guru's guarantee, okay, well, between the guarantee part and where I did our thing, I got bored. So here's the situation. I'm sitting there, I'm kind of looking around, and I see this really good looking tan skin tight, barely there, barely covering anything dress, standing on the edge of the dance floor. Now, she's probably in her mid-20s. And I just walked up to her, approached from a 90-degree angle. There's something with that. I'll explain it a lot later. But I approached from a 90-degree angle. I just look at her and I go, my God, you are fucking hot. She turns around without even recognizing who I was. I could have been her boyfriend for all I care. But she turned around real quick and goes, you fucking creep. Fuck you. Get away from me.
Boom.
Yeah.
We got action.
Yeah. Now, most people, they will like, oh, shit, I'm a creepy, and run away. Nope. I just looked at her, stayed very calm, leaned in just a little bit, and I said, actually, a creep is someone who will buy you drinks. They're going to tell you a bunch of lies, and then they're going to creep around the subject of what they are after. So that would actually make me the direct opposite of a creep. Anyways, you have a nice night. Watch out for those creeps, by the way. And then I walked away. Now, you could say, but you walked away, man. Nope. You got to understand the psychology behind it. The group dynamics. About 30 seconds later, I'm standing at the bar. Not only did she apologize to me, she bought me a drink.
That's fucking awesome, man.
And she had absolutely zero counter for what I told her. Because creeps are people who is going to buy her a drink. They're going to tell her a bunch of lies. And they're going to creep around the subject that they want to sleep with her.
Yeah.
I came in and I told her straight up, you look fucking hot. I was not bantering around. I wasn't playing games. I went straight in. I told her straight up. So actually, I am the direct opposite.
Boom. That's it. No fucking around. No creeping around the bush. Listen, straight to it. See, like, most people can justify someone saying, like, I have a boyfriend or I have a girlfriend. I do it. I mean, I hear it with my friends all the time. Most people can even say you're not my type. Can't even handle you're not my type. But all of these are rejections.
Yeah.
You can't handle you're a creep or you're too clingy / slutty. If you can't handle this, it'll spread like cancer every area of your dating life.
Right.
It will literally paralyze you into not making an approach, not making a move, not escalating a conversation, and you'll just be stuck and scared in the bathroom.
Bedroom.
Yeah, you'll be stuck in the bedroom. I don't know why I said bathroom, but yeah.
When you're going through and you're trying to make the approach, and if you're scared that even kind of getting a little bit sexual with it, yeah, you're paralyzed. You can't move. You're always stuck playing the role of being the nice guy or being the nice girl and getting put in the friend zone every single time. Why? Because you're scared to make the move. You're scared to ask them out. And if you are talking to them, well, yeah, it's to the movies or something. I have to run an errand, want to come with me kind of thing. You're scared to hold their hand. You're scared to move in for the kiss. You can't escalate.
Right.
And you're allowing this fear to control your confidence, and your nerves are constantly getting the best of you. But if you change this and you allow your confidence to control your thoughts and you maintain your self-assuredness, you're not going to be perceived as a creep.
It's that simple.
I'm twice this girl's age.
Like 5 times her age, John. Don't lie.
I mean, she's at least 21 because she's in the club. But
you hope.
Yeah. Yeah, she could have used fake ID. I don't know how good they check their IDs. But still, I'm more than twice her age. If there's any kind of creepiness there, that should have triggered it. Nope.
Not at all.
She came up. Not only did she apologize to me and buy me a drink, and we got along great for the next couple of minutes, and then I had to go do the other part of the test. Let's get into that other part of the test. Because this is where it's really going to... If you want to talk about rock solid, maintaining, and not apologizing, you're going to love this part. Okay, when you hold yourself and you maintain your self-assuredness, you maintain your confidence, you can get away with almost anything. You can escalate that conversation. You can get it to a point where you can get away with, I can't wait to see you on all fours. And then they reciprocate back. Like this or like this. I am not kidding you. The last group, when I was running everything all at the same time, just using every strategy that we show, that is what happened. I looked across the group. It's like a horseshoe type bench. Look across at one of the girls in the group, and I was just like, I can't wait to see you on all fours. She dropped down on the floor right in front of me and got on all fours. And she's looking over her shoulder, really provocative look. She's like this or like this?
Boom.
Right there in front of the club. And people are sitting there watching. I don't care about them watching. Actually, it's kind of cool. But tell me, how many of you have had that kind of experience?
Oh, I cannot say I have. And I would not say if I had. So as far as we all know, I haven't.
Yeah. But how many people would like this kind of experience? Whether in a club or at home. I mean, if you can do this at home with your partner, with your wife. If you can't do this at
home, we need a whole new conversation.
Oh, we're going to be getting into that in a future episode. Trust me.
Yeah.
But now you see where this can go, and you can see how we do this. Okay, so let's recap this thing from the top, put it all in order so that you understand, and we can wrap this whole thing up. So you're going to make your approach using whatever opener you want. Go low level, go mid level, whatever. You want to really try it, go hardcore. Okay?
Go for it.
The examples that we used are highly sexualized and direct openers, okay? So that we can show you the rejection methods and how you can actually overcome them. Just remember, you are not seen as creepy, clingy, or slutty if you remain confident and you own what you said.
Absolutely. And it's true. Then you want to change your energy level and kind of go into a conversation. Don't forget your pattern breaks. Pattern break. Just think about this. Eyes, volume, speech pattern, speech tempo, the quickness, the slowness. Pay attention to all of those things. Pattern break, people. Break that pattern.
Yeah, you're going to up the ante with that. Then what you want to do is you not only watch for the signs of interest, but there's only 2 of them, but really watch for the signs of disinterest. If you're not getting disinterested signs, if you're not losing them, take that as permission to keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
If they're not putting up barriers, or they're not backing away, they're not looking down at the ground going, what the fuck? then take it as a sign that what you're doing is okay. They approve of it, especially if they're reciprocating back. If they're continuing the conversation, take that as a sign of approval. Keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly. And don't be scared to escalate. Once you figure out that they are interested, don't be scared to escalate. Start flirting. Make the conversation a little bit sexual. Look out for signs of disinterest as you move along the sexual conversation and kind of just have fun. As long as they're reciprocating back, you are doing it.
And when they're reciprocating back, you're not artificially creating emotions in them. You're not artificially doing something. They're enjoying it just as much as you're enjoying it. So everything's copacetic here, okay?
Everything's copacetic, yeah.
There you go. So that's how we take a conversation that is strictly platonic and move it all the way up through like this or like this. Hope you learned something.
and you know, like I said, I'm open to hearing your experience. You just walk up to someone, give them a really sexual line, and then when they call you a creep or something, say, sorry if we want to have sex with you. Write us in. Tell us your results, guys. Always write us in. Always give us feedback. As a matter of fact, because of your feedback, we were able to produce not 1, not 2, but 3 to 4 shows based on simple feedback.
And we got more shows coming.
More shows and more shows. We cannot do this without you. I'm so excited. Don't forget to, like, rate, share, subscribe, tell your mom, tell a friend, tell everybody you know, because the more people we share this with, the more dynamic our content. Obviously, keep a lookout for our course because it's coming at you hard. If you can't tell, we are working our asses off. That's pretty much all I got.
So if you like this episode, you want to listen in next week because we're going to talk about the elements you need to build a relationship that will last a lifetime. We're going to give you the secret sauce, people. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss that one. And with that, we will talk to you on the next one.
That's all for this episode of the Girls Ask Guys show, where all of us learn to master this thing called life together. For more answers to your questions on life and love, be sure to subscribe to the show so you don't miss a single episode. And head to girlsaskguyshow.com to submit your questions for a future episode or apply to be a guest on the show. Good luck out there, and we'll catch you next time, right here on the Girls Ask Guys show.